I think I should get something to eat before I go home. No, but there's gonna be food at home. Okay. Oh, there's nothing. I knew it. I knew it. I knew it.
Have you ever ignored your gut, made a decision, and then later thought, maybe I shouldn't have done that? Same. Let's talk about that inner voice and how tuning into it changed how I make my decisions. For me, sensuality is about awakening your body. It's about awakening all of your senses and feeling at home within yourself. I didn't always feel connected to my body, so feeling that intuition almost wasn't even possible for me at one point. That started to shift when I started doing shadow work, and I realized that, oh my God, there was a voice inside of me this entire time that was trying to guide me and tell me what to do, and I just didn't know that it was my intuition. It was my coach that had to tell me at that time, because I was sitting there talking about my situations and how I regretted this decision, and I had a voice tell me not to do it, and she said, that's your intuition. And that's when I realized that we actually have like a guiding system within us to help us make our choices and decisions in life. At first, it was really hard to accept that, and I did feel a lot of regret, because what do you mean I could have avoided all of this chaos just by listening to my inner voice? Like, you mean to tell me that all of this didn't need to happen? But obviously it did, right? Because it serves a purpose in even awakening that intuition. But eventually I accepted that, it's a part of life, and I didn't have this information at the time, and so I made the best choices I could make with the information that I had. Even after that awareness, I still had a hard time trusting myself. I still struggled to make decisions. I would constantly ask people for advice, but really I was looking for approval. I would overthink, I'd go back and forth, pros and cons, and share my concerns and my fears and my doubts. And then even when I finally made the decision and it didn't go the way that I wanted, I would spiral. I'd start saying stuff like, see, you can't trust yourself. You proved it. You're not trustworthy. You're not capable of making decisions. Then I thought about why I think those things, and I realized that stuff I picked up in my childhood. Somewhere along the way, I picked up the belief that if I go against the grain and fail, then that means I'm going to get punished. If I made a choice that others disagreed with and then I didn't succeed with that choice, then I would get the silent treatment. I would get isolated. I'd hear things like, you haven't accomplished anything yet. How far have you gotten yourself? What have you really done with your life? So that conditioning and that experience made me stop trusting myself. Those voices became my inner voice. And even years later, after years of therapy, healing, shadow work, deep work, I noticed I was still operating from those voices in really subtle ways. So here's what changed for me. I realized that when I follow someone else's advice that goes against my gut, I am reinforcing those voices. I'm telling myself that I don't know what's best for me. Therefore, I have to trust someone other than me to make these choices and decisions. And when that decision doesn't work out, not only am I disappointed, but I also feel resentful towards the person or people that led me there. But no one can really lead you anywhere, right? They're not in your body. They don't know what's in store for you. They don't know what your path is. No one has the ability to lead you in life. They're not you. Can they support you? Yes. Can they encourage you? Yes. Can they be there when these decisions don't work out sometimes? Yes. Can they encourage you to try again? Yes. But only you can make the decision. And that's when I learned that I really need to exercise this muscle of decision making, and that I need to trust what my body is telling me more, so I can get better at being confident in the choices I'm making in life, and I can have better relationships with people and myself. I'm choosing to take accountability and responsibility for my life and my actions, and not displacing blame onto the people around me. I think I have done this with family a lot, that my parents didn't lead me here, they didn't give me this, they didn't give me that. To a certain extent, sure, because I was a child and I didn't know what I was doing. They also didn't know what they were doing. Now, as an adult, you can't carry that story forever. Now, of course, it's scary to make choices that maybe go against their advice or other people's advice, but the higher price to pay is not listening to your intuition, following everybody else's advice, and then regretting it. I feel like I would much rather listen to my crazy intuition. Maybe it's not crazy, maybe it's just different. I feel like I would rather do that. Take any L's that may come with it and just move on. Because mistakes are going to happen. You're not going to get every outcome you want. So trusting my body and awakening my sensuality to guide me through life with decision making is the best thing that I've ever done. Your body is wise, your body knows. Your body can feel when something is right, when something is confusing, when something is a big fat no. If you can hear the kitchen cooker, I'm sorry, okay? So the real skill is learning to trust those feelings. It's building your decision-making muscle by going within, not outside of you. So let me share some of the tips that I've used to do this. Number one is to pause and check in with your body. Okay, give yourself a moment in stillness to understand what's happening in your body and just give yourself a scan. What does this feel like? Is this exciting? Is this nerve-wracking? Is this making you feel uneasy? Is this making you feel exhilarated? Just check in. Learn what different feelings mean in your body. When someone invites you to go somewhere but you get a sinking feeling in your stomach, like just noticing those things that I don't really think I should be in that place right now. Or maybe now it's time to leave the situation. These kind of things, really just try to see how your body is reacting. You don't have to make a decision, just check in. Sometimes things feel like a yes and then they turn into a no. Sometimes a no turns into a maybe. Sometimes a maybe turns into a yes. Like changes are happening constantly and that's okay. I think sometimes you will also end up doing things you don't want to do because you thought it was a yes and then you realize it wasn't a yes. All of this is a learning experience, and as long as your safety is accounted for and you're okay, then it's all good, you know? I think this is like a trial and error situation to really figure out what your body is trying to tell you. It's like you're learning yourself. Number two, journal your gut feelings. Try to write down what you initially felt and then make the decision as you would make it, and then see if there's a pattern. I think when you see things in front of you and you're talking about the moment that's happening right there, it's fresh on your brain, you remember it really well, and you start to see that your intuition was guiding you into a better situation, a better outcome. Maybe you'll learn to see objectively that you are trustworthy. This will help you understand that you do have some insight and intelligence and some guidance that you can rely on in certain scenarios, which is really exciting because my brain was really good at spiraling and like creating this delusion or illusion of my capabilities. It really helped me to see in front of me that my intuition could have led me into a better situation because it was written down. That really helps you see yourself differently. I also think that you should track your wins, that when you do follow your intuition and it works out, that you should celebrate the fact that you trusted your gut, and you should bask in the joy of, yes, like I listened to myself and it worked out, and this is proof that I can listen to myself. Like that is such an exciting, thrilling experience. I think sometimes we spend a lot of time bashing on ourselves when things don't work out, and we don't spend enough time celebrating ourselves when things do work out. And that is so much more important than bashing on yourself. It's actually not that important, and I'm such a hypocrite to even say that, but it's okay. We live and we learn, we listen and we don't judge, right? Okay, so I'm just as human as you are, so making sure that we understand when we are listening to our intuition and then it works, and really holding on to that moment, because that's gonna teach you what it felt like to feel something here, act on it, have it work out, and you can continue to do that in different spaces. Number 4, choose the more exciting option. When you have to decide between things, maybe just choose something that makes you feel excited. Just try it. Start with something small, like I'm gonna have ice cream in the middle of winter. I'm gonna go to the movies by myself, or I'm gonna apply for that grad program, or maybe take it a little bit bigger and book that solo trip. Move cities. Just get up and leave. Go for that job and make that career change. Ask that person out, you know? If it's making you feel excited, and expansive is the word that my coach uses, what feels the most expansive, what feels like the most exciting thing to do, start small and start building that trust that you can be excited about something and act on it, and it's going to be okay. That will also help build the belief that exciting things are good and that we welcome joy and excitement into our life, Because sometimes I would also think about the exciting thing and then I would be like, okay, but let me be realistic, and that's not really feasible for me, and all of these like other limiting factors would come into play. But I mean, your reality is what you think, right? So if that's what I think, then that's what my reality is gonna be. But if I can just choose the exciting option and just go for it, I might give myself a whole new experience in life. And then my reality will change. So that excites me. Hopefully this gives you some push and a shove to just do the exciting thing. That leads me to number 5, when intuition and logic fight. Throwing hands out here, okay? Sometimes the logical answer is not for you. Note to self, okay? Sometimes the logical answer just makes no sense. I think anybody who has ever gone against the grain feels that, because anybody who's ever invented something, created something out of nothing, they all did something away from the rest of the world, separate from the rest of the world, that probably wasn't logical at one point, and created something. That's just how things go. That's how inventions have come about. That's how businesses have come about. That's how careers have come about. So maybe logic isn't always the answer. If the logical advice and the realistic advice that you're getting doesn't feel right, then maybe that's your answer, and that can be hard to accept because the whole world is probably telling you to go this way and you're like, no, I'm gonna go that way. And that's scary. But I have been following the logical answer and I've been suffering for it. I have been kind of like keeping myself trapped and blocked. I'm now choosing the intuitive, expansive choice, and yes, I'm scared, yes, I'm nervous. But I'm also excited, and I'm also looking forward to a very new experience in life. I feel really grounded. I feel really proud of myself. I'm really inspired by myself, and that just goes to show that sometimes the wild choice is actually the sane choice, because look how much closer it brought me to myself. And honestly, other people can't get you there because they're not in your body. They don't know your path. They don't know your intuition. They can't feel you. Only you can feel you. So lean into what you're being called to do. Number 6, accept that you won't always make the best decisions, okay? I have taken so many L's, okay guys? So many L's. And this is a really hard one, like, especially after what I explained, that when I made a decision and it didn't succeed, that I would kind of deal with some sort of consequence for that. And when that would happen, like I said, I would reinforce those voices again that you can't trust yourself, you're not good at decisions, you're not good at life, blah, 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 whatever. But then I realized these entrepreneurs, these trailblazers, the transformers of the world, the innovators, the inventors, the leaders, they all chose a path that was different. And I'm 1000% sure that they experienced setbacks, okay? So I've just come to accept that every decision I make may not be my desired outcome, but the decision just has to be mine. And I have to own up to that outcome, whether it's what I want or what I don't want. Making poor decisions or making quick decisions or making decisions I'm not fully on board with is a part of the process to getting better at being confident in your decisions. So that's that, and at the end of it, I have me, I have myself, I can rely on myself, I now believe that, and I have my home within myself, and we're gonna be all right. So just know that every decision is not gonna be the best, and that's okay too. Number 7, the very, very last one. Limit the amount of opinions you take on, okay? Not because the people around you are not good people, not because they're not trustworthy, but because you do need to exercise this muscle of making decisions. You will feel more confident when you know you made this choice without speaking to anyone and it works out. In order to now build that self-reliance, build that independence, so you can become interdependent with the people around you, you do have to start taking on your own choices. And when you don't have a lot of opinions and you don't go to a lot of people for opinions, then that helps with that because there's less confusion, there's less opinions to sort through, right? Like the people that I have around me, they would give me their advice any given day, right? They love me, they care for me. So I have to make an active choice to not always run to someone when I am feeling nervous, scared, anxious, confused about my choices in life or about what I should do. So it's something I have to actively do to make sure that I'm listening to myself and giving myself time to come to a choice, come to a decision. And then when I really, really need help, I will go to these people because sometimes we need that in life and that's okay. Learning when you need to do what is also important. And like I said, No one can really give you the advice that's meant for you. They have their own experiences, they have their own point of views, they have their own wiring. Everyone's wired differently. I work well when my back is against the wall right now in this chapter. Other people like to ponder, like to think. Some people don't think, some people just act. Everyone is different. So the place that they're giving you the advice from is probably not the place that you're coming from. Sometimes it is. Sometimes it isn't. Like, everything is all about discernment and realizing when this can apply to you and when it doesn't, right? That's it. When you get some advice and it really hits you, you'll feel that too. You'll realize, I need to listen to this. This is what I need right now. That's also a part of listening to your body, listening to your intuition. But all of this just leads you back to yourself. And that's what my whole premise is that everything you need is within yourself. You have your home within yourself. You have your love within yourself. I'm able to carry myself in this world and I don't need constant support and validation. And that's the kind of partner I want to be. That's the kind of daughter I want to be. That's the kind of friend I want to be. That's the kind of creative I want to be. That's the kind of person I want to be. I want to be walking in this world strong and tall and secure and confident and excited, full of joy. I want to be dancing my way through life because I'm connected to myself and I'm connected to the source and I'm connected to the world. And these are the things that I've used to help me get there. I'm not always in it, and that's okay too. But I do find my way back, and I'm really, really, really happy about that. So I hope this helped you. Let me know, as always, if you have any questions. Share your stories in the comments where you didn't listen to your intuition when you should have. And that's it. I will talk to you all soon. One love. Peace.